managed to pick up a dehumidifier cheap on Gumtree. The only thing I will say is I think that the condenser and evaporator are much too large for this DC compressor that I've got. But all we could do is give it a try, really. Or it may be possible I could cut this in half and then use it that way. I'm not sure, but I'll need to recover all the R134A out of it. Let's see, it takes 180 grams of refrigerant, and so I might have to take some R134A out of the bottle I've got and then just put it in another system, the big system with the BD35f compressor, do it that way, so I've got space in the bottle. So I'll do that just now. So this time round I've not actually put as much gas in the system. So basically I filled it this time by not having any water flowing around the coil, and I just filled it until it was just beginning to frost back all the way to the compressor. Then I turned on the water pump just to let the warmer water circulate around, and that seems to be a better way to charge it, because before the pressure was way up there, showing about 0 degrees Celsius. It was way up above there at times, but it seems to be probably performing a bit better now. It's chilling the liquid quite good now. I was up at about 20 degrees Celsius just like about 10 minutes ago, so it's doing really well. And the return of the compressor, it's pretty cool to the touch. The compressor's quite warm, as they usually are with R134A. It's not a refrigerant I'm terribly impressed with. I don't like the stuff at all, but I've no other option, unfortunately. Now I'll just have to get my tap valve and take all the refrigerant out of that one there. But I'm just trying to chill down this bucket here so I can get my recovery tank, or this as cold as possible, so I can get as much of the gas out as I can. Because if you have a higher pressure on the outside, on the outlet of the compressor, you can't get as low a pressure on the low side, and it means that I can't recover as much refrigerant. So that's why I want to get this chilled down as much as possible. And because it's such a nice day and my off-grid battery is so massive, I'm actually powering this off the big power inverter. So we're drawing just about under 20 amps there at 24 volts, so it's quite a bit of power going into it. So the water is now at 1 Celsius, and moving on to the dehumidifier. Inside here we've got an LG compressor. It's just like a fridge compressor basically, so I think my tap valve I can put just there maybe. Not sure really what I'll do with the compressor. Obviously keep it. I'm not sure, it's been very hot. I don't know whether I should make a little air conditioner out of this, but I need to make up some sort of wooden enclosure for it, or I could just, as I said, just cut one of the evaporator coils in half to make it a suitable size for the DC compressor I've got, and then just use that. All the refrigerant is recovered, and this is in pieces just now. I don't know if I'm going to use this fan or not, but all the rest of this will just get put to the recycling. And here I'm just going to build an air conditioner for fun, really. What I'm going to do is cut this evaporator here, and this small section I'll use for my DC compressor system. It's so small and doesn't move that much heat anyway, so it should be okay. And I'll just have one PC fan at an angle, probably cooling that, and some sort of shroud. And I'll just have to carefully cut this along there at an angle. Condenser will be left as is. And basically this is going to be an air conditioner where there'll just be 2 air ducts for the condenser, which just go to a window. So basically it'll work like that. I'll make up some sort of air duct system with just 2 air pipes probably about that size, and we'll have powerful fans circulating around there. And for the evaporator, it'll just sort of be a slow fan on there, and this tray underneath to catch the moisture. So I finally cut that evaporator in half. So the hot gas on the compressor is going to come in there, and it's going to go out there. I'm just going to purge it with CO2 while I solder these joints here, and this should hopefully be an acceptable condenser. So I just decided to get bashed on with it, and the DC compressor system is now finished. It's been filled with R134A, and it seems to be refrigerating quite well. It's already dropped the water by about a degree C in about 15 minutes or so. Obviously not as powerful as the other system, but this is what our low side pressures are doing. And I checked this with the refrigerant slider app from Danfoss, and these gauges are correct. That's exactly where basically the pressures are matching up with the temperatures. So this is our evaporator pressure, and that seems okay. That should be able to chill the water down, well, the liquid down to below zero. I cannot get a reading on the high side, because if I open up the high side shutoff, which is up there, basically so much refrigerant just fills up in the hose, and it basically just stops the system from functioning properly. In fact, I'll show you what happens. So if I open up the high side, basically the hose holds such a large percentage of the refrigerant in the system that the low side pressure just drops, so I can't really get a proper reading at all on the high side. So it drops quite a lot, so I'll have to close that off and open up the low side and take all the liquid out of that hose. And it has a milky appearance because the refrigerant and oil doesn't mix that well, and that's because I'm using Suniso 3GS mineral oil in that compressor. I don't think it'll cause damage, but on certain larger systems it could prevent the oil returning to the compressor, and it'll cause all sorts of problems. So no high side readings, unfortunately. Strange thing is, on R290 it wasn't too much of a problem, but that may have been because my condenser was larger. Here's a better look at the condenser here. So there is to it really. It doesn't hold that much refrigerant, but it should do, because it's made of 8mm copper tubing. The condenser, it's quite thick stuff, so it's got quite a lot of volume to it. So that seems to be performing okay. The discharge is pretty warm. It's not roasting. And then the return is just a bit warm, so this condenser works okay. What I'm going to have to do next is, this compressor is running off an electric bike controller, so I'm going to get an Arduino with a DS18B20 sensor on it, and I'm going to basically make up a temperature controller, so that if the temperature, say, is above 1 Celsius, I'll have the compressor running at full speed, and if it's between 0 and -1, basically I'll ramp down the speed of the compressor. So like, say that the temperature is at -1, the compressor will be running at the slowest speed. If the temperature was to start increasing up from between -1 to like 1 degree Celsius, that would basically from where -1 would be the compressor at the slowest speed, and when it gets up to say 1 degree Celsius, it'll basically run at full speed, and it'll sort of even out somewhere in between those two temperatures, rather than turning on and off all the time. So I'll try and program that at some point. I don't think I'll be doing it for a while, because I'm going to be building an air conditioner too. I'll take that to my dad's though. That'll be quite good. And there's a storm coming in now, so I'm going to be stopping for the day, I think. It's going to piss down like mad. But I've got the Canon XH1 camera and my film camera, and I'll try to get shots of lightning if possible.